My fiancée faked her death to escape our wedding. When she returned years later, I was married, and she was the one with regrets. The day my parents brought me home to finalize the arranged marriage, my intended fiancée, Scarlett Gordon, supposedly died in an unexpected car accident. Everyone expected me to be devastated by Scarlett's death. After all, I'd known Scarlett since childhood and had pursued her for years. But I wasn't sad. Instead, I calmly accepted it all. Until 3 years later, at a class reunion, I saw Scarlett again. She had a man by her side, and when she saw me, Scarlett spoke directly. "Sincere, this is my fiancé, Ethan Miller. If my parents hadn't forced me to marry you, I wouldn't have had to fake my death to escape. Now, Ethan and I are getting engaged soon. You've lost your chance." I looked at Scarlett and smiled calmly. She didn't know I hadn't loved her for a long time. In fact, I was already married to her cousin. Chapter 1. The day of the reunion. Just as I walked into the venue, I saw Scarlett Gordon and Ethan Miller wrapped around each other, acting intimately, even kissing in public. "Scarlett, it's a good thing you didn't marry Sincere Clark. We should always believe in love. Those arranged marriages are never reliable." Exactly. "Scarlett, look how happy you are now. Sensei heard Sincere hasn't even gotten married all these years because he thought you were dead. And serves him right. If the Clark family hadn't pressured you into marrying him, you wouldn't have needed to fake your death. Sahaha, Sincere is so stupid believing something like that." Standing just outside the door, I listened to Scarlett chatting with a few close classmates about it and shook my head with a smile. I'd known Scarlett since we were kids. We grew up together, childhood sweethearts. Back then, our families had an understanding, a childhood engagement. From a young age, my mother told me Scarlett would be my future wife and that I should protect her. But I never expected that after high school graduation, she'd get together with Ethan Miller. Over the years, for Ethan's sake, Scarlett neglected even her family's business. She even faked her own death to escape her engagement to me. I knew everything, yet I let her do it. I even deliberately helped cover her tracks, secretly helped her leave. Not because I loved her, but because I knew if she didn't love me, forcing her to stay might only hurt me more. It was better to let her go. It also served as a way to settle things with the Gordon family. Yet Scarlett had no idea. She always assumed I'd be heartbroken over her, even joking about me in situations like this. At that moment, I just found Scarlett incredibly naive. She had no clue what the Gordon family went through after she left, and all her expenses with Ethan over the years came from the money the Gordons had given her previously. The reason she was back now was simply that her bank account was nearly empty. "Sincere Clark, you're here." Scarlett was talking with her female classmates when she suddenly saw me walk in. She immediately pulled Ethan over to face me. Pointing at Ethan, she said, "This is my fiancé, Ethan Miller, and Sincere, I hear you're still single. Saying you didn't really think I died, did you? Sincere Clark, you're truly pathetic. I found true love, but what about you? Just a tool for a family marriage alliance." Looking at Scarlett, strutting proudly before me, all I felt was disgust. Chapter 2. I had absolutely no interest in Scarlett Gordon. I only sat at the reunion for a short while before preparing to leave. Scarlett, on the other hand, spent the whole time showing off her relationship. I simply shrugged off Scarlett's attitude. By now, I had completely lost interest in her. Seeing me get up to leave, Scarlett immediately ran over to block my path. She looked at me, her eyes flashing with anger, and asked, "Unsincere Clark, what is the meaning of this? Ethan and I are getting engaged. Why aren't you reacting at all?" Hearing Scarlett's words, I paused for a second and retorted, "What reaction should I have? And Scarlett Gordon, your life is your own to decide. Your engagement to Ethan Miller has absolutely nothing to do with me." After saying this, I turned and walked away. Now I kept my distance from Scarlett Gordon, because I knew she and I were already worlds apart. After returning home, I received a call from Victoria Austin. Victoria and Scarlett are cousins. After Scarlett left, Victoria came into my life. Over the years, she and I had already gotten married, and our life together was sweet. However, due to the circumstances surrounding Scarlett, Victoria and I had only legally registered our marriage. Publicly, many people didn't know we were already husband and wife. "Did you see my older cousin?" Victoria asked with a smile over the phone. I nodded. She came back with Ethan Miller, but the Gordon family's business is in trouble now. A few days ago, the Gordons even approached me, hoping I could help them out. I chuckled as I spoke. Back then, it was the Gordon family who wanted the marriage alliance with us. But after Scarlett fled, seeing our company's stock price plummet, it was also the Gordon family who cut ties with us. However, the Gordons never expected that 5 years later, our family business hadn't collapsed but was thriving instead. The Gordon family, on the other hand, had made one mistake after another in business and was now on the brink of bankruptcy. Hearing this, Victoria chuckled. Having managed my overseas business for years, she naturally understood that the Gordon family was useless now. "I'll be back in a few days." Over the phone, Victoria expressed how much she missed me. For years, she had traveled overseas multiple times for our family business. If it weren't for Victoria, our business might never have recovered. I promised her that once she returned, I would give her a grand wedding. Then, I ended the call with Victoria. I didn't expect that just as I hung up, Scarlett Gordon's call came through. Seeing the name on the caller ID, I gave a resigned smile. That name hadn't appeared in 5 years. I had even thought Scarlett Gordon would never call me again in this lifetime. But now, after 5 years, I received another call from her. "And Sincere Clark, I need to see you." Her voice over the phone was demanding, leaving no room for refusal. Listening to her, I chuckled lightly. "Miss Gordon, you and I have nothing left to discuss, and please don't disturb my rest." After saying this, I hung up directly. Then, I immediately blacklisted and deleted the number. I didn't want Scarlett Gordon bothering me anymore. Chapter 3. The next morning, the housekeeper informed me that Scarlett Gordon had arrived, bringing her father, Gregory Gordon, with her. Hearing this, I frowned slightly. I had no desire to see them. I told the housekeeper to ask them to leave, stating that I had no further connection with the Gordon family. However, I didn't anticipate Gregory and Scarlett Gordon running to the entrance of my company building. Just as my car pulled up, Gregory Gordon approached with Scarlett. "Sincere." Gregory Gordon beamed at me, smiling broadly. If it weren't for his attitude towards me after Scarlett ran away, I might have thought he was a decent elder. But now, I understood perfectly what kind of person Gregory Gordon truly was. "Well, Mr. Gordon, is there something you need?" I asked. "Sincere, I brought Scarlett here to apologize to you. And Scarlett is young and insensible. She makes mistakes." Gregory pulled Scarlett forward, saying with a smile, I've already scolded Scarlett. Also, she has broken up with Ethan Miller." Hearing this, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Just the day before, she was loudly announcing at the reunion that she was marrying Ethan Miller. I didn't expect that as soon as she returned to the Gordon household, under her father's intervention, she immediately chose to break up. "Mr. Gordon, Miss Gordon has nothing to do with me. Who she breaks up with is also none of my concern." I spoke coldly. "Besides, I'm very busy with many things to attend to, so please don't disturb me." After saying this, I prepared to leave, but Gregory Gordon, having finally caught me, wasn't willing to give up. He suddenly grabbed my arm, saying, "Sincere, can't you just talk properly with your uncle about our family's relationship?" I looked at Mr. Gordon, who held on to me tightly, refusing to let go. I knew making a scene at the company entrance would reflect poorly, so I had no choice but to lead Mr. Gordon into the company. Once inside the office, Scarlett Gordon still sat confidently before me. Looking at me, she said directly, "And Sincere Clark, my father's company has problems who need your capital." Listening to Scarlett's words, I smiled. Looking at her now, I shook my head. Miss Gordon, our company has no plans to invest in your family's business, so if you two came to see me about this matter, then I apologize, and you may both leave now. The moment my words fell, Scarlett instantly became agitated. She stood up abruptly, looking at me. Sincere Clark, do you know what you're saying? I'm giving you a chance. If you help our family, I'm still willing to marry you otherwise. I'll never speak to you again. I shook my head. Scarlett's naivety struck me as comical. She didn't stop to think. If she dared to fake her death for Ethan Miller back then, how could she possibly be willing to live with me now? It was only because she returned home to find her family's situation dire and realized I was the only one who could help them. That's why she was willing to act this way now. Looking at Scarlett before me, at this moment I simply shook my head. Miss Gordon, you and I ended long ago. And besides, I'm already married. Saying this, I flashed the wedding ring on my hand, looking at Scarlett. So please refrain from bothering me in the future. As soon as I finished speaking, both Scarlett Gordon and Gregory Gordon's faces turned incredibly sour. Their expressions changed in unison. Chapter 4. Sincere Clark, you'll say anything just to spite me, won't you? Looking at me, Scarlett spoke coldly. Something as huge as you getting married. How could nobody know? You're just saying this because I came back, deliberately trying to anger me. Gregory Gordon beside her also chimed in with a forced smile. Sincere. I know you harbor resentment over Scarlett leaving, but isn't Scarlett back now? And know you still like Scarlett. Listening to Mr. Gordon, I smiled and shook my head. I had given up on Scarlett Gordon long ago. Why would I still fixate on her? At this moment, looking at Mr. Gordon, I said, President Gordon, the matter between Scarlett Gordon and me ended long ago. Now I truly have a wife, and love my wife very much, so please don't trouble yourself, President Gordon. Son, you two, please leave. As I finished speaking, Scarlett beside me glared at me angrily. Sincere Clark, I'm giving you a chance. Hearing her words, I was becoming speechless. I believed I had made myself sufficiently clear. At this point, I even felt a stronger sense of disgust towards Scarlett Gordon. Gregory Gordon's expression also turned somewhat grim. He looked at me and said, Sincere, although Scarlett did wrong, she is a good girl. Son, you two can still continue to get along. He looked at me, constantly trying to reassure me. I, however, simply pointed towards the door, signaling for them to leave. I had completely lost interest in this Gordon family crowd. I had already witnessed the extent of their shamelessness. Sincere Clark, don't you regret this, Scarlett declared, standing up and looking at me. I looked back at Scarlett, smiled, and said nothing. I had absolutely no regrets concerning Scarlett Gordon. After the Gordons left, I continued with my work and went out to meet a client. I had arranged to meet a client at a hotel. After dinner, just as I was about to leave, I unexpectedly saw Scarlett Gordon and Ethan Miller at the hotel entrance. They were embracing, kissing passionately. Seeing this scene, I smiled. I hadn't expected that just moments after claiming she'd broken up with Ethan Miller, she was here kissing him at a hotel. Scarlett Gordon truly hadn't changed one bit. Her family simply wanted my help. I casually took out my phone and snapped a picture of the two kissing at the hotel entrance. Afterwards, I drove away directly and returned to the company to continue my work. But I didn't expect that near closing time, Scarlett Gordon showed up again. This time, she was meticulously dressed up. Standing at the company entrance, she saw me and hurried over, saying, Sincere, I came to pick you up from work. I looked at Scarlett Gordon before me. She was beaming at me. At the same time, looking at the colleagues walking out of the company, she announced loudly, Hello everyone, I'm Scarlett Gordon, Sincere's fiancée. Upon hearing this, many colleagues who knew the situation were stunned. Many knew about Scarlett faking her death to escape the marriage years ago, and moreover, Victoria and I were already engaged and legally married. I pushed Scarlett Gordon away and said coldly, "Scarlett Gordon, I have no relationship with you. Please leave." Chapter 5. My icy words stunned Scarlett Gordon. She looked at me, a hint of panic flickering in her eyes. Growing up, I had always treated Scarlett exceptionally well and never contradicted her. In her mind, even if she did something wrong, as long as she yielded and pleaded with me, I would forgive her. It was because of this belief that she felt, even after faking her death and escaping the marriage, I would still forgive her now. But she had no idea how utterly disappointed I had become with her. Now, seeing Scarlett Gordon only filled me with disgust. How could I possibly forgive her? "Miss Gordon, I've told you many times, I am married. Furthermore, my wife will be returning soon. Due to certain matters, our wedding ceremony will be held in half a month. So please, Miss Gordon, stop harassing me." I looked at Scarlett coldly and stated firmly. Then I turned and left. Scarlett Gordon stood there, crestfallen and stunned. She'd never imagined I actually had a wife. A sense of panic washed over her. "Oh no, Sincere, you're lying to me, right?" Scarlett grabbed my hand, speaking emotionally. "You must be lying. You loved me so much. How could you possibly fall for someone else?" I forcefully shook off Scarlett's hand and signaled the security guards to stop her, then turned and walked away. I had long been disillusioned with Scarlett. Her actions now, in my eyes, only made her seem increasingly unhinged. Whoever encountered such a woman was truly unlucky. After returning home, I called Victoria Austin. I told her about Scarlett and Gregory Gordon causing trouble at my place earlier that day. "The Gordon family situation is really bad right now," Victoria said upon hearing the news. Although Scarlett and Victoria were cousins, the Gordon family had not only never helped Victoria's family back then, but had also pushed Victoria away after her parents' death, swallowing the Chen family's assets. Therefore, since childhood, Victoria and Scarlett hadn't been close. Now, hearing about the Gordon family's misfortune, Victoria actually laughed happily. She said, "T-Saint, I heard the Gordon family's capital chain is completely broken. If they don't secure funds within a week, the bank will seize the shares and assets they mortgaged. By then, the Gordon family will be bankrupt." Hearing this news, I smiled. A few years ago, when Scarlett faked her death and fled, the internet was flooded with news claiming I had driven Scarlett to her death for the sake of the marriage alliance. Because of that, my family company's stock price plummeted. At that time, I was at a loss. If Victoria hadn't suddenly appeared and told me everything, perhaps my family would have been swallowed by Gregory Gordon back then. From the beginning, Gregory knew about all of Scarlett's plans. He simply wanted to include my family in his calculations. So, after the Gordon family cut ties with me, I quickly recovered with Victoria's help. Seeing no opportunity left, Gregory finally stopped. And over these years, Victoria and I secretly worked against the Gordon family, leading to their current predicament. Ironically, Gregory Gordon not only remained unaware, but also considered me the only person capable of saving his family. It was undeniably amusing. After finishing the conversation with Victoria, I hung up. Victoria told me that the overseas business was going smoothly, and she would be able to return to see me soon. Chapter. Naturally, I was happy about Victoria's return, but I didn't expect that the next morning my secretary rushed in anxiously. Holding her laptop, she looked at me and said, "President Clark, something's happened. Last night, Scarlett Gordon caused a scene at the company entrance, and someone posted about it online. And because this incident gained traction, many people are sympathizing with Scarlett Gordon, saying you abandoned her after starting a relationship." Listening to my secretary, I waved my hand dismissively. "Release a clarification statement, explain the situation clearly." To me, whether Scarlett Gordon caused trouble or not was irrelevant. After all, Scarlett and I were never meant to be. Now, I just wanted to clear things up. However, I didn't expect that just after the secretary posted the clarification announcement, the comments below completely changed direction. Scarlett Gordon already said it's because the Gordon family's finances are in crisis that you don't want her anymore. How can there be such a scumbag? On one hand, planning an arranged marriage. On the other, ditching his girlfriend as soon as her family's situation turns bad. This kind of person should just die. My secretary informed me that Scarlett Gordon had started a live stream, accusing me of abandoning her after leading her on. As for the reason, Scarlett was vague and hesitant, but many people understood the implication. According to Scarlett, the reason I was acting this way was because the Gordon family was now facing financial difficulties, and when Scarlett came to ask for my help to fund the Gordon family, I avoided her. In the video, Scarlett cried pitifully, looking quite miserable. Watching the video, I sneered. I knew this must have been Gregory Gordon's idea. I could roughly guess his motive as well. Wasn't it just to pressure me into agreeing to marry Scarlett and then make me invest in the Gordon family? I didn't care about this matter at all. I told my secretary that I would hold a press conference tomorrow to clarify everything. Then, I called Victoria Austin again. "I think you'll need to come back a bit earlier," I said, my voice tinged with resignation. "Don't worry, I'll definitely be back," Victoria replied with a chuckle. Besides, during my time overseas, I've already contacted several of the Gordon family's business partners. From now on, their business will only get worse. By then, I'm afraid the Gordon family won't be able to hold on. Hearing Victoria's words, which sounded like she was seeking praise, I smiled. For me, having Victoria around to help resolve these troubles was naturally the best outcome. After hanging up, I was about to continue working, but soon, Scarlett Gordon's call came through again. When I answered the phone, Scarlett's voice dripped with triumph. "Sincere Clark, I'm giving you a chance now. Marry me immediately." Hearing this, I chuckled. "Oh, Miss Gordon, is this your idea or President Gordon's?" My voice was icy as I asked. Hearing my words, Scarlett didn't even seem to notice the coldness. The next moment, Gregory Gordon's voice came through her phone. "Sincere, it's me." Gregory's voice sounded anxious. "This whole situation with you and Scarlett has blown up so much. When Sincere, listen to your uncle's advice. Marry Scarlett, and I'll help you quell the public opinion." "No need, Mr. Gordon. I don't need you to quell public opinion," I replied with a cold laugh. Chapter 7. The public outcry was manufactured by Gregory Gordon, yet now he had the audacity to offer to help me calm it down. At that moment I couldn't help but laugh, angered by Gregory's nerve. His shamelessness once again redefined my perception of him. I stated directly, "And President Gordon, I've already told you, I have a wife, and I will not abandon my wife. So why must you two send Scarlett Gordon to disgust me?" Hearing the change in my tone, Gregory Gordon finally started to panic slightly. He quickly said, "Sincere, it's not what you think. It's just that Scarlett truly loves you very much. So she did some things that caused a misunderstanding. So I believe you actually love Scarlett very much too. Therefore, Sincere, your best choice is definitely our Scarlett." Gregory's voice held a hint of triumph. I knew he thought he had me cornered. But how could I possibly let him succeed? I smiled faintly, then said, "President Gordon, I will hold a press conference tomorrow. President Gordon should make sure to arrive early." Gregory Gordon thought I had agreed and immediately let out a triumphant laugh. "Good. Sincere, after tomorrow, you'll be my son-in-law." I didn't say anything further and just hung up the phone. Gregory Gordon had no idea that he had already thoroughly enraged me. At this point, I actually found Gregory rather foolish. He failed to consider that Scarlett's fake death years ago had already caused so much trouble. Now he actually believed such a minor incident could control me. The press conference proceeded as scheduled. That day, both Scarlett Gordon and Gregory Gordon attended. Scarlett held her head high, her face full of pride. Upon seeing me, she prepared to rush towards me but was stopped. Simultaneously, my gaze drifted past Scarlett to the background, where Ethan Miller was hiding in a corner not far away. At that moment, a cold smile touched my lips. Even now, Ethan Miller was still following along. Did the Gordons really think I was that foolish? Ladies and gentlemen, I called this press conference today to clarify some matters. I looked at the reporters before me and stated, Miss Scarlett Gordon and I have absolutely no relationship. Miss Gordon has someone she loves. As soon as I finished speaking, the room erupted in an uproar. Many reporters immediately turned their cameras towards Scarlett Gordon. Scarlett instantly looked flustered. She quickly stood up and exclaimed, "Sincere Clark, who do I supposedly love? And the only one I've ever loved is you, Sincere. You can't just choose to abandon me because my family is facing an economic crisis." Scarlett was crying pitifully now. Even Gregory Gordon stood up, looking at me. "When Sincere, my daughter loves you so much, how could you hurt her?" I looked at the pair, father and daughter putting on an act, smiled faintly, then addressed Scarlett coldly. "And since you all don't believe me, then I have no choice but to present the evidence." The moment I finished, my secretary was ready. Behind the podium, the large screen displayed the images of Scarlett Gordon and Ethan Miller kissing. Seeing the content on the screen, Scarlett's face turned deathly pale instantly. Chapter 8. Panicked, Scarlett Gordon rushed towards the screen, shouting loudly, "Hey, turn it off quickly." Scarlett was truly panicked. She never expected me to have such a video. That day, after leaving my company, knowing Ethan was angry, she went to the hotel with him to placate him. She never imagined someone had taken photos. All the reporters began snapping pictures frantically. After all, Scarlett claimed to love me, yet here she was, being intimate with another man. "This gentleman is Miss Gordon's actual lover." I pointed to the photos and said, "And that lover is present here in this conference room right now." Hearing this, the reporters scrambled to find him, quickly locating Ethan Miller hiding in the corner. Ethan looked utterly panicked. Surrounded by reporters, he didn't dare to move. Furthermore, I believe you all remember the incident from a few years ago, when my fiancée was said to have died in a car crash. It was trending news back then. As I finished speaking, both Scarlett and Gregory Gordon's faces changed drastically. Comparatively, this incident was the truly indefensible one. Scarlett's fake death back then. Many in our social circle had long forgotten. But with my reminder, coupled with the news articles I presented, the whole affair was dredged up again. Online, netizens watching the live stream immediately dug up numerous details, Gregory Gordon crying on camera about how tragically his daughter died. Even photos of Scarlett herself, and pictures of Scarlett and Ethan living lavishly over the years. In that instant, public opinion completely reversed. Answer 1. Miss Gordon simply wanted to pressure me into lending money to the Gordon family, which is why she orchestrated all these events, since we reserve the right to pursue legal action against the Gordon family. As my words fell, Scarlett Gordon lost her composure entirely. She looked at me desperately. "And Sincere, I really know I was wrong." She lunged towards me. At that moment I could see the panic in Scarlett's eyes. But it no longer concerned me. I gave Scarlett a cold glance, then continued, "Additionally, I have an announcement to make here. I have been married for some time now. We simply hadn't made it public." As I spoke, I gestured towards the entrance nearby. Victoria Austin, dressed in an elegant gown, walked gracefully into the conference hall. Inside the hall, numerous reporters turned their cameras towards Victoria, capturing photos. The moment they saw Victoria, both Scarlett Gordon and Gregory Gordon were stunned. They naturally recognized Victoria. Scarlett looked utterly incredulous. Then Scarlett looked at me and said urgently, "Oh, Sincere Clark, she's my cousin. She definitely doesn't truly love you. And I'm the one who's most suitable for you. Some bitch, you're trying to steal my husband." Scarlett frantically lunged towards Victoria, but the next moment, she was pinned to the ground by security guards. Victoria walked up to me, glanced contemptuously at Scarlett, and then said calmly, "Older cousin, Sincere and I are husband and wife. Your husband is behind you." Hearing this, Scarlett's expression faltered. She wanted to argue, but seeing Ethan Miller apprehended not far away, she panicked. She ran directly towards Ethan. Watching the scene unfold, Victoria and I exchanged a smile. At this point, everything was crystal clear. Online, news was already spreading like wildfire. As the news fermented, investors whom Gregory Gordon had promised imminent funding now knew I wouldn't be investing. Instantly, many pulled their capital. In a flash, the Gordon family's enterprise collapsed directly into bankruptcy. Driven to despair, Gregory Gordon jumped from the top floor of the Gordon building. By the time he was discovered, he was already dead. As for Scarlett Gordon and Ethan Miller, already broke, they eventually left the city in disgrace. Victoria and I lived our lives perfectly, paying no more attention to Scarlett and Ethan's affairs. Several months later, however, we unexpectedly heard news about them. Penniless, Scarlett and Ethan had resorted to borrowing money to survive. Eventually, creditors tracked them down overseas. After being taken away, they ended up as organ donors. By the time they were found, their bodies were already empty. Because Victoria and Scarlett were cousins, the police contacted her. Only after Victoria clearly stated she had no remaining ties to Scarlett did the police drop the matter. "Now we can just live our lives peacefully," Victoria said, leaning against me with a smile.